Kia ora, and welcome to Tuesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect New Zealand. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we lead with news. We're now in the peak vacation season in the Northern Hemisphere, with policy activity relatively low. But US petrol costs are high in this summer driving season. Trump continues to claim he's negotiating with Iran. Iran continues to deny any talks are taking place. Still, the stalemate is relatively peaceful, but one that leaves Iran and Oman holding all the cards in the Hormuz Strait. In the US, the widely watched ISM factory PMI came in slightly better than expected with a good expansion, one marginally stronger than the S&P Global PMI result we noted yesterday. This ISM version recorded stronger new order flows and prices increasing at a slower pace. In China, their top leadership is vacationing as usual in the beach resort of Badahe. Oddly, Xi doesn't appear to be there. Over the weekend, we noted that China's official factory PMIs all turned down and into contraction territory. The private S&P Global version has been less gloomy in the past, but yesterday's release also shows a sector slipping in July from June. But at least this alternate version is not yet contracting, and they feature rising new order levels, which is promising. In India's July factory PMI is still expanding at a solid pace, but that pace has now slipped to its lowest in 5 years. New order intakes are rising, but slower, and input cost pressures are easing there. And while we're at it, we should note that the factory PMIs in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan and Malaysia have all remained quite positive and expansionary. All of these noted that cost pressures are also easing now. The Australian version is rising too, but cost pressures there are still elevated. In Australia, the Totality Home Value Index dropped 0.7% in July from June, the sharpest monthly decline since December 2022, and accelerating from a 0.4% fall in the prior month. The drop was after higher mortgage rates, affordability pressures, and soft consumer sentiment that all hurt housing demand. Sydney and Melbourne led the downturn, with home values falling 1.4% and 1.2% respectively in the month. And staying in Australia, the Melbourne Institute monthly inflation gauge increased materially in July after falling in the prior 2 months. The increase was broad-based, with an annual headline inflation of 4%. The monthly cost of living also increased across a range of household types, they said. Later this week, we'll get the June household spending data from the ABS and also their cost of living indicators. This Melbourne Institute data suggests whatever those ABS results are in June, things will get worse in July. And we should note that the copper price is rising again, making another tilt at the record high it reached in May and June this year. It is now back up at $14,330 a tonne, just 2% below that record peak. At the rate it moves, it could breach that very soon. AI build-out demand, as supply constraints deepen, are driving this latest rush. And some of it is stockpiling in the expectation that Trump will clear the pitch with a tariff move. In any event, the world's big mining firms are shifting away from iron ore to copper mining, chasing these riches. And we could probably also note that SpaceX, listed at $135 a share but opened at $160 a share, it is now struggling to hold $110 a share today. Not helping are the lock-up investors and staff that are now net sellers. Shorting SpaceX seems to be a growth game. We should probably also keep an eye on the accounting firm KPMG. The consequences of its horror story in Australia are about to be played out, with maybe global implications. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.69%, down 6 basis points from yesterday, and the price of gold has slipped to $4,033 an ounce, down $9 from yesterday. Silver's little changed at just over $57.50 an ounce. And oil prices are down $4.50 from yesterday at just under $80 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is now just on $83.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is down 30 basis points from yesterday at just over 58.6 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're little changed at 83.8 Australian cents. Against the euro, we've dipped 10 basis points to 51 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just at 62.4, which is down 20 basis points from yesterday at this time. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $63,851 and up 0.9% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been modest, just on plus or minus 1.4%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.